Task-based language teaching is another method or approach of language teaching. It is also called task-based instruction. Task-based language teaching may be regarded as a recent growth or logical development of communicative language teaching, because it also believes in focusing on the communicative aspects of a language. However, its prime focus is on the tasks which are used in the language teaching classroom, as it considers tasks as a basic unit of classroom procedures and instruction. And task-based language teaching also focuses on the process instead of product of language learning. There are some popular assumptions associated with task-based language teaching and on which it is basically based on. We could see TBLT believes that the basic unit or basic component of a language classroom is the task or activities which primarily focus on the communicative aspects of language, to see how people communicate and are actually able to communicate in the target language. Activities or tasks which are introduced under this approach or method should ideally relate to learners' real-life communication, or they may also relate to the pedagogical needs of the classroom, which may be determined by both teachers and the students. Activities or tasks used in a task-based language teaching classroom may be sequenced according to their difficulty. The easier task may come earlier in the classroom and the others may come later, and they may be rated according to their level of difficulty by a teacher or instructor in the classroom. The difficulty of a task might depend on different criteria. For example, we could see it might depend on the previous experience of the learner, his previous knowledge or exposure to the language he is learning right now, or the degree of support which he receives within the classroom, or he or she might have received before the classroom. The concept of task, as I said earlier, is primary or central to this task-based language teaching method. Task may roughly be defined as an activity or goal of learning within a classroom, and it might focus on some particular aspect of language learning, and some popular tasks may include finding a solution to a puzzle, reading a map, or giving direction to somebody about something. These are some popular tasks which might be found in a language classroom. And these tasks also focus on meaning so that learners know what they are learning. And they should be an important component of a syllabus or design under this method. Tasks involve two or more people. Usually they are interactional in nature in other ways. And they demand on students to develop their own communication and interactional strategies while using them. We could see every task should have, according to this method or this approach, should have an outcome. So there cannot be a task which has no clear outcome. And most of the time, I have mentioned earlier, they resemble real-life communication things or needs of the learners. Syllabus in TBLT might include real-world tasks as well as some pedagogical tasks. Similarly, there are various types of tasks, as I have mentioned a while ago as well, few of them. There is a huge list in front of you, but still, these are only few. There could be more. These include listing, ordering and sorting, comparing, problem solving, sharing, and there could be some creative tasks as well, which teacher might suggest or students themselves develop within the classroom. We could also have some jigsaw tasks, information gap, decision-making tasks. Depends on the level of learning for the learners. So usually in a TBLT classroom, teacher decides a task according to the level of his learners' understanding and grade in which they are in academically. We could also see some division of tasks based on one-way or two-way tasks, or some convergent or divergent tasks. Then we have collaborative or competitive. Collaborative are those where people are demanded to participate with each other, and competitive in which they are in a kind of race to compete with each other. Then we have simple or complex processing. These are the tasks who demand simple or the otherwise mental processes to be performed. So these have to be graded very carefully. A role of a learner is also critical in this method. He is not again a passive learner. He is a group participant. He actively participates in the task. Otherwise, the task may not be performed. He is the monitor of the task and is learning as well. He is also a risk taker and innovator, because during performing a task, he might have to innovate, accelerate in order to fulfill that task successfully. The role of a teacher is also critical. He is not only selector of the task to decide which task may be useful for his learners. This might be a tricky decision on the part of a teacher and could seriously affect the learning of his pupils. He is also a sequencer. He provides sequence to the task which he intends to introduce in a classroom. He also does the psychological job on his students as well, because he prepares them for a task. He introduces a task in such a way that it looks interesting to the students, and this is very important for the successful completion of a task. He is also consciousness raising about the task among his students. Role of teaching material is also very important, and probably one of the difficult aspects of this method, because choosing various tasks or materials may be tricky for a teacher in an English language teaching classroom. Then the procedure is very important. Deciding about the tasks or topics from simple to difficult is a tricky job. I have already mentioned about it. And then we find various researchers have provided us some sequences which might be followed. For example, one of the popular one is having a pre-task activity in the classroom, in which teacher introduces the task and tells his students about the benefits of that task, and then we have the task actually its actual performance in the classroom. And then we have a post-task activity which actually evaluates the task, and we might find some feedback by the teacher during this stage, and it may determine the overall outcome of the task. This method is interesting, as a task may provide input and output both for the classroom instruction, and one of interesting psychological aspect of task is that they may be motivational for many students, because successful completion of a task may motivate students to learn more and do more. However, this method is also not without any problems, because developing and performing a task within a classroom may demand on teachers as well as on learners, and it could be a serious obstacle in terms of time and resources, because it's not easy to spend that much time for developing a task for many teachers around the world. Similarly, many aspects of TBLT, for example, evaluation of task, is yet to be justified scientifically. So this method is being used in many parts of the world, but once you decide to use it, you must be careful about the various issues associated with it.